Hey boys and girls, we're here on chapter 8, lesson 4, which is kind of like a continuation of lesson 3. It's like picking back on what you already learned. Lesson 3, we were doing drawings to help us solve the equations. Guess what? No drawings today. The only thing we have to do is actually use inverse operations and do some arithmetic. So inverse operations, what is it? Inverse operation is an opposite operation. So if I give you addition, you give me subtraction. If I give you subtraction, you give me addition. If I give you multiplication, you give me division. If I give you division, you give me opposite. Okay? What did I say? Did I say I give division, you give me multiplication? Okay. So those are inverse operations. They undo each other. So when we look at this equation, d plus 5 equals 23, we're going to use inverse operation to help us solve. If this is addition, you're going to use subtraction. Yes. So we want to get the variable completely by itself. He wants to be left alone. Okay. So D, how do we get him by himself? We got to get rid of the 5 that's hanging out there. So I have to subtract 5 from this side. If I subtract 5 from this side, we always do the same on the other side of the equal sign. Subtract 5 from this side. Cancel this out because 5 take away 5 is 0. And that's what you want. You always want 0 where the variable is at. D equals, bring down what you haven't used, 23 take away 5. Now I can borrow or I can just do it in my mind. 23 take away 5. So 23, 22, 21. Am I counting wrong? Yeah. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19. Why is it not coming right? It's 18. 23 take away 3 is 20. Take away another 2 is 18. Okay, so it's 18. You can also borrow 1 and 13. 13 take away 5. You're left with 2. And 13 take away 5. Sorry, you're left with 8 here. Ooh, Miss Roman's all messed up. 18. It's supposed to be this quarantine. All right, 18 is my answer. So D equals 18. How do you double check your work? D plus 5. So 18 plus 5 has to give me 23. Does it give me 23? 18 plus 5, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Yes, it does. All right, so I double check my work, plugging the information back in. Next one. A minus 14 equals 11. What's the inverse operation? What's the opposite of subtraction? Addition. So I'm going to add 14 on this side. I'm going to have A left alone. My goal is to get 0 on this side. So if I have negative 14, how do I get to 0? I have to add 14. I owe 14. If I give you 14, I now have 0 balance, okay? So cancel this out. Subtract 14 on this side. That doesn't work. This side. Because if I add 14 on this side, I have to add 14 on this side. So we're going to see here. This cancels out. I'm left with A. A equals 11 plus 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So I have 25. Let's see if this is really the solution to the equation. I have A equals 25. So 25 minus 14. I'm going back to the original equation. I should be getting 11. Let's see if I get 11. If I do, then I'm doing it right. So 5 take away 4 is 1, and 2 take away 1 is 1. I got 11. Yay! I found the solution to the equation, and I was correct using inverse operations. Next one. Dun, dun, dun. This is a little bit tricky because some of you forget how to do addition, subtraction with fractions. So same rule here. I want to leave A by itself. Right now it's subtracting 5/8. I have to use inverse operation. What's the opposite of subtraction? Addition. I'm going to add 5/8 to this side of the equation. It's going to cancel out and be left at 0. But before I move on, if I do it on this side of the equation, I have to do it on the opposite side of the equation. So plus 5/8 on this side. Now I can cancel this out, be left with A equals 7/8 plus 5/8. Okay, remember when you're adding, subtracting fractions, everything's all good as long as the denominator is the same. If the denominators are the same, you can go ahead and add and subtract the numerators. If the denominators are not the same, then you have a little bit of trouble and you have to find a common denominator and move forward. But right now we have the same denominators, 8 and 8. So all I really have to do right now is look at the numerator, 7 and 5, and add them up. So 7 plus 5 is 12. So I have 12 over 8. Now that's an improper fraction. So an improper fraction, I have to divide, just get my remainder, and I'm able to find my mixed number. How many times can 8 go into 12? One whole time, okay? And then how many would you have left over? You would have 4. So 4 8, and if I reduce that, that'd be 1 whole and a half as my final answer. A is 1 whole and a half. Okay, boys and girls, that's lesson 4. Practice, practice, practice.